Basically what we do is Roasted Brews gets their coffee from Guatemala. That's where our family grows the coffee. So we breed them here and we actually roast everything. And we sell them locally in Gallatin and Hendersonville. We actually just started this year, so our goal is to hopefully open up a shop one day.
So it was so much fun meeting this family who brings Guatemalan coffee here to Gallatin. And I'm really excited about you showing me all these new ways to prepare the coffee.
Absolutely. I think it's amazing that we can consider coffee to be a local bit of produce here in Gallatin. Yeah. But I think that meets all the criteria. We know exactly where it came from, exactly how it was grown. It was shipped here in a timely manner. I mean, just like our friends at the seafood. I mean, this is a local item we can buy. Now, let's get to our hardware.
Okay, there's a lot of shiny electrical stuff here.
There is. I'll handle that bit. First of all, we are mostly familiar with the standard drip coffee maker. That's the way most of us get that. I like it too. I have one. I use it every morning. Now, what you may not be familiar with are the other two.
Nope.
This is a percolator. Old-fashioned technology, developed in the 1800s, still works great today. We'll look at the inside in a minute. And then over here we have what's called a French press.
This looks fancy.
It's very fancy. It's fun to use. It's great to have on a table. Go ahead. Careful.
Oh, no, didn't do anything.
Let's take a look at the percolator first. It's similar to the drip pot in that we have a basket, and then we have this metal tube. Basically the way this works, we put our water in the pot, tube goes in, basket on top, coffee in the basket.
So no filter?
It is the filter, but we don't want too much filtration with this, because the way it works, whenever we plug it in, the water heats up, it will go up through the tube, and then it will condensate on the lid and almost rain down over the coffee grounds into the pot, and then it repeats, it cycles.
Well, that's fun.
So it's similar to the way the drip maker works with the water going up and pouring over. But the difference is it's going to do it repeatedly. Exactly. So you get a very rich, bold flavor of coffee with that.
That's awesome.
With our French press, we have all kinds of fancy looking things in here. This one has a double filtration system, keeps the coffee grounds out of your cup for the most part. And then we've got some other little filters. Basically the way this works, you just drop your coffee grounds straight into the pot, fill it up with water, and then just stick this thing on top.
That's as much a piece of art as, it's a lot prettier on the counter than these are.
It is. You let it sit about 5 minutes and then you get to push the plunger down, strains through the coffee, and it's ready.
I'm going to do a good job on that.
Oh yes. Well, let's get to work on this. First thing that people like to argue about is how much coffee to use. Oh, I'm excited to use this.
It smells incredible.
Ooh, yeah.
It smelled up my whole office for a couple of days.
Oh, isn't that a nice smell? Make sure you stop by the farmer's market because you can buy a single cup.
Yes,
or you can get the whole bag.
Cold.
Yeah.
And they have other flavors too, but this smelled the absolute best.
Now, you can adjust the amount of coffee you use depending on your preference. If you like it a little stronger, add more. A little weaker, add less. I find that 1 heaping tablespoon per 2 cups is the way to do it. I do a 1 to 2 ratio. So I'm just going to scoop 3 tablespoons into here. I'll go ahead and add 3 tablespoons into the percolator.
We are going to be caffeinated.
Shake that around in a minute. And then can you get the lid off of that please, Kathy?
Maybe.
And then we'll put 3 tablespoons into our French press. Now I'm mixing these all the same way, same amount of coffee, same amount of water, because we're going to do a little blind taste test once we have it all brewed, and we're going to determine which method is the best. Which gives us the best flavor of coffee? So roll this down. You'll want to keep this in a dry, dark place. I keep a plastic container with a lid, put my coffee in that, try to keep the air out.
Do you ever keep it in the freezer?
Never put it in the freezer.
Cool.
You will kill
Never
the flavor.
do that.
The flavor will immediately start to be sucked out
That
and it
would
will
be
be
terrible.
bad. Yes, it would. You've done that, haven't you?
That's not nice.
Gabby, what do you notice about these two pots that the French press does not have? Heat. It does not supply its own heat. So, we have to boil the water in the kettle. I'm going to go ahead and put that on over here. All right, now to make sure we get the same amount of water, I'm going to use this pot to measure for the other two. I already measured out the kettle from this. We're going to make sure that everything is equal in this experiment. 6 cups into the reservoir. Now, will you hold this for me, please? All right. We're going to add water straight into the percolator. And give that basket a little shake to spread it out. Good enough. And then there's a little hole in the bottom. Lid goes on top. Remember, the condensation from the lid is what's going to brew our coffee. And if you'd like to, I'll let you plug it in. Just this once though. Kettle's ready. You want to get it just below boiling. You don't want a rolling boil with this. Just below. And then we're just going to add all of it into the French press. You can smell it already, can't you? So now we want to put all the parts of the French press in there, but we are not going to plunge it yet. We're just going to sit it like that. Plunger is all the way up, and we wait very patiently, 5 minutes. 5 minutes to get it to optimal strength.
Okay.
And then, of course, the last thing, slip the pot in there. Flip the switch. You know how this one works, I assume. And now we wait. Okay, it's been 5 minutes, so we're ready to finish with our brewing. Gabby, would you like to do the honors with the French press?
Absolutely.
Slowly and steadily push the plunger all the way down. And that's it. We're pushing all the grounds down to the bottom to try to minimize what ends up in our cup. Just the once. Just the once.
Are you sure?
Now, with our percolator, you'll notice we cannot see through the pot. There's no indicator on this one to tell us when it's ready. You have to kind of listen for it. If you hear the churning, you'll hear the churning. But whenever that stops, you know it's about finished. And really, it takes about 5 minutes for what we put in there. Now, if your pot has an automatic shutoff, you're safe. Otherwise, I recommend unplugging it. Turn off the heating element. We don't want the coffee to burn.
No.
All right, and of course, our drip maker's ready whenever the reservoir runs out. So, Gabby, I'm going to send you out of the room now, and I am going to set up our blind taste test. If you can go get our test subjects, please.
Okie dokie.
Now, while she's doing that, I have cups that are numbered. I'm going to pour a nice taste of each of these. They are not going to know what is what. You're not going to know what's what yet. I want you to try to guess based off of their reactions. So, I'm going to take just a minute. We'll bring our taste testers in.
What would go good with this coffee?
Hello, I'm good, and you?
Good. I need something that'll go good with coffee. So
Okay.
What do you recommend?
We have a cream cheese pound cake. That would be great with coffee.
Okay, you win. Sounds great.
The name of my business is called Aun-tae's Sweet Confections, and we came up with that because I have a niece who can't say my name. She couldn't say Aun-tae, so she put it all together and calls me Aun-tae. So hence Aun-tae's Sweet Confections was born.
All right, Gabby, who do we have?
Well, we've got Cindy with us, who's our cataloger here at the library, and this is James, and he's in charge of our AV stuff here at the library. And y'all already know me.
All right, you each have 3 cups. You don't know what's in it, aside from coffee. Go ahead and grab cup number 1. Give that a taste. Gabby, what do you think?
It tastes pretty weak to me. I don't know. Yeah, little watered down for me.
Yeah, it's a little weak.
Okay,
And I can see grounds in it.
that's important to note.
Okay.
All right, cup number 2.
Yeah,
That's better.
that's good.
That's way better.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that.
Has a good flavor. Robust.
All right, go ahead with number 3 then.
Oh yeah, salty.
It's good too, but I think number 2 is the best.
Number 3 is not as hot as the other ones,
No.
but I like it. But number 2 is definitely my
Yeah, number
favorite.
2 for me.
So I'm going.
All right, Cindy, what's your order?
Number 2.
2,
Uh-huh.
followed by,
3.
and then 1 is last.
One
James?
is last.
I'm gonna go the same. 2, 3, 1.
Me too. Me too.
Oh, wow. We have a unanimous vote here. 2, 3, 1. Well,
Okay,
let's
spill
take
the
a look
news.
at what we have. The French press was number 1. Flip up the next card, Gabby. The percolator was number 3. That the drip pot was number 2, our winner. What have we learned?
I've learned that I love Guatemalan coffee.
It's very good.
Yeah, it's very good. And then this coffee, out of a regular drip, tastes just as good as anything. New choices. Now, probably if we tried to put some more coffee in there, we might get a little different taste. But I'm pretty happy with the number 2.
Very good.
Well, there we have it.
Thank y'all so
you
much for
joining
being
us.
part of the taste test.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, we're going to go see how caffeinated we can make some librarians.
Woo!
See you next time, everyone.